starting with Eugene, you mentioned there was the first time going to the Chinatown in Incheon. You used the phrase "there was the first time to go." In that case, you should say that was the first time, referring to that particular event. At that time, you would say that was my first time or that was the first time, instead of there was the first time. That was the first time to go to Chinatown. And you described Chinatown at the end of Incheon. I was a little confused by the end of Incheon. If you meant like the outskirts of Incheon, like a little bit outside of the city, we could say like the outskirts of Incheon. Or if you meant like the last subway station, then you could say like maybe like the last stop on the Incheon line, or the end of the line, maybe. That was the end of the line. Incheon is the end of the line, or like that. You mentioned there were many restaurants, and I choose one. Just be sure to use the past tense. I chose one of the famous restaurants. And talking about fortune cookies, you mentioned I didn't think the fortune. I think what you meant was like I didn't consider the fortune, or I didn't think about the fortune seriously, or I didn't take this fortune seriously. Like I think that's what you meant, right? Like you just didn't care about it, right? So yeah, in that case you could say like I didn't take it seriously, or I didn't consider it, or I didn't think about it seriously, just to be clear with that.
Korean people usually say really, when to check that really, that really happened, or something. Is it okay to say?
Yeah, we could say that. Really? Definitely. For Bora, talking about choosing the movie, I forget which movie, maybe La La Land, you had an expectation. So you said, because of the expectation, it was disappointed. I think in that case you meant either I was disappointed, or if you're talking about the movie, you could say it was disappointing. So like, because of the expectation, it was disappointing. Or I was disappointed in the movie because it was disappointing. And speaking about coffee, you mentioned that like Starbucks, actually, I cannot satisfy that taste. Better to say I cannot be satisfied with the taste. Like I cannot be satisfied from the Starbucks taste in the specialty shops. Yeah. So I cannot be satisfied by that taste. Or be satisfied with. Jin Young, when you were talking about the accident with the car, like I saw you kind of struggling and mentioning like it was a small accident. It sounds kind of like a silly word, but actually the official kind of word for that kind of small accident we call a fender bender. It sounds kind of silly, but that's just what we say. And the fender is the front end of the car and the back end. So if it's a small little bump in the fenders bend a little, so we call it a fender bender.
Can I ask something?
Sure.
What is the meaning of the bumper to bumper?
Oh, the traffic is bumper to bumper.
What is the exact meaning?
Bumper is like the front of the fender. So the front end of the car, if it's bumper to bumper, that means like it's really close, almost touching. So you say the traffic is like bumper to bumper. Fender bender, right, is like a really small accident, no worries, but a little bit scary. And Ji Young, mentioning the movie Julie and Julia, you were talking about how the character in the movie, she's just working, you said, I think, to survive. And that's fine, I know what you mean, but a more common expression is like someone is trying to get by. So if you say she's working just to get by, that kind of means she doesn't have like a lot of money. She's just paying her rent, and she only has enough money to live, you know. So it kind of means like they're struggling to make money and they don't have a lot of money. So we could say, yeah, she's just working to get by. Like she's just getting by. And get by or getting by means you're making only enough money to survive. No more for fun things or spending money like that. And those were all the corrections.